Today we're here with a British boxing legend himself, Froch. Carl, thanks for having us to your lovely house. How are you getting on? How are you doing?
Pleasure, mate. I'm doing all right. All right. Yeah, good times, mate. I've got 3 kids, so I spend a lot of time with them.
Yep.
I've invested a lot of my money from boxing into properties. That keeps me busy. It wouldn't keep me that busy. My brother works for me, and my building partner. But I've got one eye on most things. I do site visits quite regular, but I'm quite chilled. I play a bit of golf. I'm relaxed. I'm fortunate enough to spend a lot of time with my kids. I've got my wife, Rachel. She's a brilliant wife, brilliant mother. And yeah, I've just got my little bubble around me, a protected bubble.
Keeping in good shape.
Keeping in shape, yeah. Well, this is actually sat now in my gym extension. I don't know how much you can see on there. You can just see outside. But I built this gym probably 2 years ago, completed it. Nice. And yeah, I spend most time in the morning when I get up, because I get up quite early. When you get a bit old, you need less sleep, I find. I need like 5.5, 6 hours sleep. I feel good. So I come down here in the morning, about 6:30, and I wake the kids up around about 7:30, 7. So I get about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour every day in here. Yeah, just lift a few weights, do a bit of cardio, just keep I need it to kind of get myself going in the morning, get my mind sharp. Just switches me on, makes me feel good about myself. Freezing cold shower at the end of it, sauna there as well, so nice hot sauna, freezing cold shower. Maybe I've been listening too much to Joe Rogan podcast, because that's what he does every day, and he's always happy and smiling, but he does a lot of psychedelics, doesn't he? Microdosing the mushrooms.
So he says,
I've had a little go at the microdosing the mushrooms as well.
I
think that's really good. Helps your concentration. I play the guitar a little bit, and I do a lot of my son's schoolwork with him. It makes you switch on and focus. So yeah, I'm enjoying that. But I don't drink alcohol.
No.
I don't take any recreational drugs. I can't be.
Wise words.
Just like, my brother's 8 years sober, so he's in sobriety, nearly 8 years, and changed his life. And I'm looking at him thinking, you don't drink, you don't do drugs, he does nothing right. He used to smash it as well. He was heavy, my older brother. Because when I was boxing, he was like doing all the tickets and gathering all the crowd around, just enjoying it. He'd be in the casino, but them days are gone. But seeing him and seeing what he did to him, just put me off.
But so inspired you to follow the same path.
But I've always been quite strict. Being an elite athlete, you've got to be strict with your diet in a weight-governed sport, strict with what you're drinking. And yeah, now I'm just in a nice, happy, peaceful place, looking after my kids.
Good stuff. But okay, let's get into the boxing questions. Right. So obviously you've been retired for a little while now, but there's been talk of you potentially getting back in the game. Someone that you've been rumoured to potentially fight is Tommy Fury. But my question for you is, do you think Tyson Fury is embarrassed by Tommy Fury's antics?
I've not heard the Tommy Fury one, to be honest.
No?
No.
Heard it?
Jake Paul and Tommy Fury fought.
Yeah.
And I had a rant at Jake Paul because he was calling himself a professional boxer, which I disagree with. He's not. He's a white collar fighter, and he's having a go. He gets in the ring, he exchanges punches. He deserves respect for that. I admire him for doing that. And he's doing well as well. He's making a lot of money because of his following, his demographic of young kids all following him, so he's making the money. But Tommy Fury, to be honest, I've always respected him. I've always had a lot of respect for him, and I think Tyson would respect him as well, because it's his younger brother, and he's still boxing. All right, not at a world level. He's probably, if I'm being kind to him, he's probably British level.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But he's still getting in there, he's having a go. He did a crossover fight. When I say crossover fight, he fought Jake Paul, and he beat him.
Yeah.
So the actual beef was me and Jake Paul.
Right.
I've got no beef at all with Tommy Fury.
Okay.
I wouldn't want to fight him.
No.
He's bigger than me.
He is a big guy.
I think I'd be good enough, even 9 years retired, I think I'd be good enough to compete with him. But he's an active fighter, he's an active professional.
Yeah.
He's younger, what is he? How old is he? He's got to be 15 years younger than me.
Yeah, he's definitely in his
maybe
20s,
even more. So, yeah, I to be honest, I've got no problem with Tommy Fury.
No, even with all the Love Island antics, that's just another way of making money, isn't it?
He was in Love Island and he did all right in Love Island, and he got a relationship in. Is he still with? Is it Molly?
Molly May, yeah, I think so.
Still with us?
I think so, yeah.
Fair play to him. Got nothing but respect for Tommy Fury. And to say that Tyson Fury is embarrassed about his younger brother, I don't know why he'd be embarrassed about it. I honestly don't. He's
probably proud of him.
I kind of don't get that question if I'm honest. I think Tyson Fury would have respect for his younger brother. He realises that he's not at that level yet because he's not at the amateur experience. But I'm sure he backs him and he wishes him all the best.
In terms of Tyson himself, obviously he's been out of action for a little while now. Talk of him taking on Usyk, but doesn't seem to be getting made that fight. What do you think's preventing it from happening?
I don't know. It's frustrating because Tyson offered him a 70-30 split, which Usyk then took, and then we don't know if Tyson stopped that fight from happening or if Usyk then changed the parameters of whatever the deal was. And then, so we're told certain things by Frank Warren, Tyson Fury's promoter, and then we have to listen to Usyk's team. So we don't, even me being inside the game and working for the broadcaster, work for DAZN and Sky Sports and BBC 5 Live Radio and TalkSport, you know, you still don't get the info that, you don't get anything inside unless you're in camp and you know the trainers and you know the promoters personally. But it's a frustrating time for heavyweight boxing. Tyson Fury, or Frank Warren's promoter, just announced that it's fighting Ngannou, which is an MMA fighter, so it's another crossover fight. Loads of rubbish. He's on about the game's changed, everyone's going to be, this is going to change the whole sport. Absolute load of shit. I don't like swearing, but it's a load of shit. Yeah. We don't want to see that fight. No. We want to see Tyson Fury in there.
With an actual...
With Usyk. Yeah. Well, the straight semi-final in Saudi Arabia they've been talking about for a while, where Anthony Joshua fights Deontay Wilder. It's pointless Fury fighting Wilder. He's fought him 3 times. I've drawn 2 wins. Don't get me wrong, I'd see it again. I'd like to watch it again. It's always a great fight. But we need AJ in with Wilder. We need Usyk in with Fury. We've seen Usyk and AJ twice. We know who the man is there. And unfortunately for AJ, he's not good enough. The winner of that fight's in the final. So we're probably looking at. As you're saying that, you're going to end up with it's going to be a Fury and so the best fight really there is Tyson Fury Usyk. That's the big one we want to see. And if AJ can get through the Wilder fight, then you're going to see AJ Fury, because that's the fight we want to see. Even though AJ's lost a couple of times, 3 times.
That's the one that's been biggest in everyone's mind for the longest time. But will we ever see it?
Everyone wants to see it, but most people that want to see it kind of already know the result or think they know the result. They're not giving Anthony Joshua a chance against Fury.
Is that fair in your eyes?
I think it's fair, yeah, because he lost to Ruiz. He had back-to-back defeats to Usyk, and he's looking like a man that's fighting with no confidence. He doesn't come forward anymore. He's on his back foot. He's defensive first, and he gasses after 8, 9 rounds. So I don't think he's got the engine. So this fight with Dillian Whyte that's coming up, if you can beat Dillian Whyte in style and look good, then people are going to start saying, hang on a minute, that was a good win.
That's what he needs to do, put himself
he's already beaten. Yeah. Dylan White's been knocked out by Povetkin, Dylan White's been knocked out by Tyson Fury. So it's not going to prove anything. No. But it's just going to show that he's got in there and he believed in himself, he meant business. And if you can get the win in style, that sets it up nicely.
So White wobbled him before, didn't he? He had him in a bit of trouble the
White
first
wobbled
time.
him early on, and AJ dealt with him, got the job done.
Came back and got the win.
Absolutely.
But like you said, that doesn't really prove that much. So what we really want to see is Wilder Joshua, don't you? But
yeah, well, it's a better fight. AJ fighting White is better than him fighting someone like Franklin, who he fought in his last fight.
True.
Or whoever else to drag up or dig up. Anyone with a pulse really to make him look good isn't going to prove that he can go in against somebody like Deontay Wilder or Usyk in a rematch or Tyson Fury. It's not going to prove anything. No. So I'd like to see him in. If I'm managing him or training him, I'd like to see him step up, take it to that level. And I think the Dillian Whyte fight, with no disrespect to Dillian Whyte, but it's a nice bridge. It's a nice bridge in the gap towards stepping up to that level again. But he's got to get in with Whyte, do the business, do it in style. Yeah. I'm not so sure he can. This is why it's going to be a good fight. Yeah. I think that was August 12th.
Yeah, it's not too far off now. A month away. You spoke earlier about your disdain, can we say, for crossover fights, MMA fighters fighting boxers.
It's only because I'm not getting one.
Well, I was going to
fight Jake Paul.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah.
Easy money.
What about Conor McGregor though? You've been rumoured you've called him out a couple of times.
Conor McGregor was talking shit on here, talking nonsense about me and piping up, and then I think he realised that actually, if he takes me on in my discipline in boxing, it's going to be even worse than what happened to him when he fought Mayweather. I mean, Mayweather's a quality fighter, but he's small. Yeah. You know what I mean? He's a light boxer. I'm quite heavy. You know what I mean? I'm even heavier now. I've been retired 9 years and I keep myself in shape. So I think he realises that he don't want to be getting in the ring with me boxing, which is fair enough. Listen, Conor McGregor, I've got to be honest, I've got loads of respect for him because he's smashed it. He's had some real tough, brave fights as well in that MMA.
No doubt.
He's had his legs snapped, he's had his head smashed in, he's been choked out, and he's made himself a fortune. I've got a lot of admiration for him. But if a crossover fight between me and Conor could happen and people wanted to see it. That's the important thing. People wanting to watch it. Then I'd happily participate.
I think a lot of people
in a boxing match with Conor McGregor.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would want to see it. But what about then if you had the boxing match? Then would you take it into the octagon?
I'd have to look at that. I did say that, but I might have been getting myself into. I might have been writing a check I can't cash here.
Fighting off more than you could chew. Yeah.
I just think that people would see it, but a boxing match, it's always been the big one, hasn't it? It's always been the big pay. It's always pay-per-view boxing. People want to see a boxing match. The octagon, they end up on the ground. They've got their crowd and it's building. MMA, I watch it. I think it's great. But you've got to be into the sport.
Yeah.
But boxing's more mainstream.
Right.
Boxing's going to make the money.
Yeah.
So if a fight with me and McGregor's going to happen, it has to happen in the boxing ring because it makes the money.
Fair. Can't say fairer than that.
But to be fair to him, he don't need the money.
No.
He's absolutely smashed it. But then again, these people that make 100 million, they soon spend it, don't they?
Yeah. Well, look at Mayweather, still raking it in, but he must be gambling a fair amount.
Is he raking it in? Where's his money going? Why is he still fighting? Fighting in front of empty arenas. Evander Holyfield blew $600 million. Mike Tyson blew more. Now, if you can blow that much money, whatever McGregor's got, if he's blowing it and spending it and buying Lamborghini boats and being frivolous with it by gambling, you just never know. I hope he isn't. He's earned his money. He's earned it the hardest way.
Hopefully he's investing it wisely as well. He's got his whiskey as well, hasn't he?
Exactly.
Everyone
says that whiskey tastes like shit, but I don't know so much.
Yeah, I'm not a huge whiskey fan.
I didn't want to try it.
I'll take your word for it, Carl. Yeah, not a big whiskey drinker. Whiskey business, as they say.
Yeah, exactly.
Another controversial issue that people have been talking about is trans people in sport and where do they fit into the agenda. Ebony Bridges said she thinks they should have their own division. She would never fight a trans man as a woman. Do you think that's where you see things going? Like
trans man or trans woman?
Trans woman.
Yeah,
trans woman, yeah.
Born a man.
Born a man. And
born with a set of gonads.
Yeah.
With the XY chromosome.
Right.
Fighting a female with the XX chromosome.
It has happened in MMA previously.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, it's disgraceful, and it should never happen on anybody's watch. It's a man basically beating up a woman. I don't care if they've transgendered into a woman and they now think they're a woman and they're taking drugs to lower their testosterone intake. They're stronger, they're more powerful. Not all of them. You get some masculine women, that's fine. You get some feminine men, that's fine. But we're talking about a trans woman. So a man born a man with the XY chromosome fighting a woman who's a woman with a uterus. Shouldn't happen, ever. So it should be banned and outlawed. It should never, ever happen. So I agree with Ebony Bridges saying she would never fight a trans woman.
So for transgender athletes, how do they compete, or do they just have to find their own lane fighting other transgender athletes?
Well, transgender athletes, transgender women, so women born men, that's a transgender woman, right?
Yeah.
They should not compete in women's sports, period. Full stop.
What about non-contact sports?
It doesn't matter. See what happened with the swimming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Breaking all the records. Yeah.
Sharon Davis speaks a lot of sense. And she goes quite vocal on her Twitter account, on her social media. And she gets ridiculed for it. But now it's slowing down and it's turning around and it's changing because people are starting to actually realise this don't make sense. This is ludicrous. It's absurd. Just got to use common sense. And they shouldn't call it common sense because it's not common because people don't seem to be using it that regular. Yeah. But you can't have a man, whether you're a trans woman or not, competing in a woman's sport as far as I'm concerned. And that will be controversial and that will be what about this, and there's a lot of ifs and buts and there's potential parameters you could put in place. But when you're talking about a combat sport, you're talking about, a man born, if you're talking about a male born man, biological man, I don't even know how to say what a man is these days, it's hard, isn't it? But a biological man competing against a biological woman in a contact sport, no, never. And I know it's happened in MMA, but it shouldn't have happened and it should never happen again.
Well,
it's wrong.
Maybe it never will happen again, hopefully. But
it's wrong.
Yeah, moving back to Tyson Fury there, as a Hall of Famer yourself, someone who was recently inducted, it must have been a proud moment for you. If Tyson Fury retired tomorrow without fighting again, has he done enough to be in the Hall of Fame alongside yourself, or does he need to fight Anthony Joshua? There's
different rules and different ways that it's judged as to whether or not you go in the Hall of Fame. Yeah. Because you've got competitive. You can go in as a competitor and you can go in as a participant or for something else. Like you can be a promoter.
Right, I see.
So, like Anthony Joshua, for example, what he's done for boxing, how he's brought boxing back to the forefront, and he's brought a whole new audience, and he followed on from my 80,000 at Wembley Stadium, and they let a few more people in when he boxed. There was some empty seats. Whether he did 80,000 or more than that, I don't know. I wasn't counting the seats. But what he's done for the sport, he's transcended it, took it to the next level, and he's got a whole new audience interested. So for that alone, for what he's done for our sport, you could say that's a Hall of Fame career.
Yeah.
But if you're talking about why I've been inducted, for fights you've taken and wins you've got on your record and world titles, back-to-back fights with world champions, and having a legacy in the sport, people
that's
go,
it. That's the word,
he can fight.
That's the word.
He can fight. He's fought him. He fought him, he was unbeaten, John Pascal. He fought Jermaine Taylor when he was former undisputed middleweight champ. Do you know what I mean? He fought Durrell, who was unbeaten. He then fought Ward. All right, he didn't win, but he beat Mikkel Kessler. Lost to Mikkel Kessler, got him in the rematch. Yep. Then he fought a guy who was unbeaten. Nobody wanted to fight him. Awkward southpaw from Canada, Lucian Butte, IBF champion. And he fought him in his very next fight after losing to Ward. Dared to be great and ended up smashing his head in 5 rounds and got that IBF title. And then after winning that, he rematched Kessler and then took on somebody 10 years younger than him, another undefeated fighter in George Groves. Struggled in the first fight, got dropped in round 1, climbed off the canvas to win in a controversial stoppage, which I thought was a great stoppage because George Groves was gone and I was in front of him, so I know he was gone. And then rematched him in front of Wembley in front of 80,000 fans. Now, that's a legacy because that's taking unbeaten fighters, that's taking world champions, that's beating fighters that then go on to win world titles, like Pascal went on to become light heavyweight champion, undisputed. George Groves went on to win a world title. And that's what you call a career that's worthy of the Hall of Fame. At the minute, your question was, does Tyson Fury deserve to be in the Hall of Fame? Good win against Klitschko. Klitschko was still decent at that stage, and he come back, Fury, after a big layoff on the drink, and he had mental health issues, and he was taking other substances as well. So he repaired himself, got himself mentally and physically well, and he had a great win against Klitschko. And then he's had a trilogy with Deontay Wilder. Yeah. Does that put him in the Hall of Fame? In my opinion, no. It's not enough.
It's not enough, no.
Beats AJ and beats Usyk, because he's dominated the division then for years. And he's the best of the best. So at the minute, if he retired straight away, he might slip in. Does he deserve to be in?
Through the back door?
I don't think so.
Not yet. But he's on the right path.
Absolutely.
If he continues.
Listen, he's a fantastic fighter that would have dominated, in my opinion, in any era. There's not many fighters you can take back to the 80s and 90s. True. Against the Riddick Bowe's, the Holyfields, the Mike Tysons, the Lennox Lewis, them sort of fighters. I wouldn't put Anthony Joshua in there, and I'm not just giving Anthony Joshua a stick for the sake of it. I just don't think he belongs in that group of fighters, that class of fighters. Tyson Fury does, because he's big enough. He's huge, 6'9".
Massive guy.
19 stone. Moves like a lightweight.
The hand
fast
speed,
feet,
all
and
of it.
Fast hands, and he can punch and he can take a shot. So, he should be in the Hall of Fame, but he needs a couple more wins. He needs to get on with it. He does. It's frustrating.
This is it. Yeah, it is annoying, but hopefully next year or two we'll see those big fights, and then maybe he'll get inducted alongside you one day. You referenced there his mental health problems. He's obviously been a big advocate for living healthy and getting back on the right path. Conor Benn, someone who's been through struggles himself, tested positive for clomiphene, and now he said in the aftermath of that felt suicidal. He's been struggling with his own mental health. Do you have sympathy for his situation, or do you feel that he's made the decisions and that's the outcome?
Well, listen, for me, I never failed a drug test, and as an athlete in a sport where you are drug tested so often, close to a fight, out of a fight, after a fight, on the night of a fight, I got tested 7 times in 1 week. That's one. I was tested every day for a week.
Really?
6 in the morning, 10 at night, just going out here to go and do my run, and then you're thinking, oh, I've got to do a run. I need to go and run.
Well, you just turn up randomly.
Then you've got to do a piss test, and it's like, I don't need a piss yet, I've just been, I've got to go and run. And it takes 2 hours. It's an inconvenience, but it's for the safety and for the goodness of the sport.
Integrity of the sport,
So, the thing with Conor Benn, as far as he's concerned and as far as he's telling everybody, he's innocent. He's got clomiphene, he's saying it's contamination. And he's now putting a case to the board. So my opinion on it is, you're responsible for what goes in your mouth and what goes in your body. Because it's really easy, you've got one hole there where you can go in unless you're injecting. And you know if somebody's injecting you, and you know what you're eating, unless somebody's spiking you, or unless you're taking a substance that you think is a protein shake, but actually it's contaminated. So if that's happened, I sympathise with him. I couldn't imagine failing a drugs test, knowing full well I've not cheated. It would be the worst thing. It'd be like getting sent to prison when you've not done the crime. It'd just be so frustrating.
Yeah.
So I feel from in that sense, but until we've got a conclusive result from, or a hearing, should I say, the hearing, until he's been in front of the British Boxing Board of Control, I'm not going to really have an opinion. Certainly not going to have a strong opinion on Conor Benn.
Fair.
I just think it's unfortunate, the position he's in. It must be a nightmare what he's trying to deal with. But I trust him and I trust his team. I've worked with Tony Sims, he was my cuts man. I know about his integrity and how he is with the sport and what a proud, honest man he is. So I couldn't see him getting involved. Because you can't just say Conor Benn, you've got to say his team as well. It's like,
everyone around him,
you've got to say, right, who's his nutritionist? Who's giving him his drinks? Who's giving him this diet plan? You know what I mean? You can't just put the Conor Benn himself under the spotlight. You've got to look at the whole team. And as a team and everybody around the team, as far as I'm concerned, Mark Seltzer, Tony Sims, he's got a couple of nutritionists I don't know. I'd say that they're straight honest geezers. But that's my opinion. Let's have a look at the facts. Let's get in front of the British Boxing Board of Control. Let's have a look at this 200-page document, 200-plus page document that he's got. What clears your name? This contamination could have happened, or what? And then when we've got the results from that, ask me what I feel about Conor Benn. At the minute, I'm backing him. I feel sorry for him because he's in a horrible position, and I hope he gets his name cleared. Until then, I reserve judgment.
So it's all a bit up in the air. It needs to be ironed out before facts are the case.
It's not black and white. It's very grey at the minute.
True. A hypothetical question. We've seen Just Stop Oil protesters at Wimbledon this week, at the cricket last week. Basically every sporting event they seem to be out there now. Back in your day, world title fight, George Groves at Wembley, one of them jumps in the ring, orange paint everywhere. What's your reaction? What do you do?
I'd hit him with the biggest, dirtiest uppercut, straight on the chin.
That's what
and
we
send them into fucking orbit. Because if they're getting into my boxing ring, my workplace, I'm sorry, it's my rules.
They know the risks.
Oil protesters get in my ring at your fucking peril. Is that the right word?
Peril, exactly right.
I would absolutely annihilate him with one punch, and it'd be an uppercut straight on the jaw.
No body shots.
That's it. No body shots, straight to the jaw. And I'd attempt to decapitate him.
What do you think that actually about their protesting itself? Do you think they're just wasting their time?
I just think that it's another part of the Matrix's agenda to try and push the climate hoax. But if we go into that and we start going too deep on politics and the latest thing, what the government push on us people, the minions, then we'll be here all day. Because I've got some really strong views. But I disagree with what the oil protesters are doing. I disagree with what they feel. They feel what they're doing is correct. But I don't agree with the whole principle of climate change. Because they're saying that we've got a global warming crisis. When did they start counting? If you go back 1,000 years, it was different temperature to what it was 10,000 years ago. Not even talking about the Ice Age, but it was different again. You know what I mean? We're fed information from mainstream media that just might not be strictly true, believe it or not. And if you're a critical thinker and you do your own research, you'll soon discover that actually
they're moving the goalposts to suit their own agenda, aren't they? That's right.
Push their narrative. But enough said.
All right, switching off again. So another hypothetical question. Donald Trump, Vladimir Putin, if they got in a ring, who's your money on?
Trump's quite a big guy, isn't he? He fancies himself, doesn't he?
He is big. Putin, though, I think he does keep himself in a bit of shape, doesn't he? Loves a bit of hunting.
Oh, does he?
Off. Out there in the wilderness.
They're both quite men's men, aren't they? Both of them.
That's why I think it'd be a good fight.
And I don't think they'd get in the ring and fight because I think them two are both on the same page. I think Trump and Putin would get on. And I listened to Donald Trump give an interview last week because I listened to quite a lot of his stuff. I listened to a lot of alternative media, should I say, away from the narrative of MSM, all the MSM bullshit that they feed us. Which a lot of this will probably go on the mainstream media, but it is what it is. It's got its uses, but it's also got its plans, should I say. Donald Trump said last week that it would end the war in a day, war in Ukraine. Now that's very controversial, and it will be very controversial. I believe him. I think he's that kind of a man that could go out to Putin and sort this war out.
Sit down,
sort it out. Is it innocent people dying? For what?
That's
for what? Really? What is it for?
I think they never expected it to.
Do we believe
go
what
on this
they're
long,
telling
did
us
they?
it's for is correct and to be true? Do we believe what we're being fed on the mainstream media, or do we look at other angles and say, hang on a minute, what about that? What about that? And I'm not going to go into it, but it's to do with NATO and it's to do with bombs land being set up on his borders that was never agreed years ago. And people are moving goalposts, and he's going, hang on a minute, I've got to protect my people in my country, Putin has. And without going too deep, and without trying to make myself sound like an expert, which I'm probably am more of an expert than the average man who watches mainstream media, I just think that Donald Trump and Putin would not get in a boxing ring, because I think they're quite fond of each other. If they did, if they was forced to get in there, I think Trump would hit him with a right hand and iron him out, unconscious. El Sparker, because he's the bigger man.
There you go.
It's a weight-governed sport for a reason. I think Trump fancies it. He's 70, isn't he?
Yeah.
Still think he can have him.
You reckon,
if he lands a right hand, it's game over for Putin.
There you go. Maybe we will see it one day. Just a friendly boxing match. But yeah, remains to be seen. All right, one final question then. Here we go. If you were offered the chance to fly to Mars on a SpaceX mission for free, would you be on board?
SpaceX?
Yeah, Elon Musk.
Elon Musk?
Yeah.
I don't know if I would, mate. All this stuff crashes and burns, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does seem he hasn't got the best record. But just hypothetically, you can definitely get to Mars. Whether you can get back or not, 50-50.
I don't like the question, you can definitely get to Mars. Where's Mars?
Allegedly, about
allegedly, I'm glad you said that.
600,000 miles.
Is that where it is?
Yeah.
So, at the minute, we can't go back to, if you think we've already been there, which I'm not so sure, just based on evidence and a bit of reading I've done.
To the moon.
To the moon, which is 237,000 kilometres or miles away. So not as far away as the Mars is alleged to be. So if we could attempt to get to Mars, I would love to jump on that shuttle and go up there, because what I want to do is I want to get my iPhone out, I want to take a picture of this spherical Earth. I want to see the Earth in its whole beauty and take a picture of it.
Right.
So I'd be up for that.
Okay.
Definitely, but I just don't think we can get up there. I don't think we can leave here.
I see.
I think it's an enclosed system.
Right.
And I don't think we can get out of it. And that's why we're struggling to leave now.
So if you were offered the opportunity, you'd be up there. Just to prove yourself that you're living.
I'd love to go far enough away from planet Earth
to be able to see it.
To be able to see it in its entirety. Because any image I've ever seen of planet Earth is always CGI.
Right.
Which basically means it's a cartoon.
See.
It's computer generated. So I'd love to do that, so yes, I'd be up for it.
So yes.
But I won't hold my breath, because I don't think it's happening in my lifetime.
Yeah, that's probably the thing, isn't it?
Even if it is possible.
Maybe
which is really interesting.
Your children's
Because why haven't we gone back to the moon in over 50 years?
They say it's not worth the money.
It's not worth it. But really, you've been to the moon, it's not worth the money to go back. How much does NASA get funded every day?
Yeah.
Do you know?
No.
Hundreds of millions.
It's big money. Big money.
Don't want to go to the moon to prove all the doubters wrong.
I think they've sent a probe to Mars, haven't they?
They've tried.
To get some.
They've tried to send quite a lot of things out.
Yeah.
God separated the waters and the heavens using the firmament dome. That's what it says in the Bible. I'm not a deeply religious man, but I do read the Bible. So whether or not we can leave this, like I said, what would be an enclosed system or not, is still up for debate.
Remains
I've not
to be
seen
seen.
anybody. Richard Branson's tried it, crashed and burned. Elon Musk's tried it. He sent that. What was that car he sent up there? Was it a Tesla? The spaceman in it?
Yeah.
That looked as moody as you like. That was gone as well. That shot off into some asteroid belt, apparently.
Suspicious. Well, anyway. Interesting. But yeah, we'll leave it at that. Carl Froch, it's been a pleasure. Thank you. Thanks for your time.
Always a pleasure, mate.
Nice one. Cheers.